a little bit ahead of time so it can ramp up and catch up with the API on diamondclub.tv.
Sir, then, I know what you do.
You're like, don't tell me. I was doing that part for the benefit of the audience. I was using you as sort of like, well, Lamar.
He's like, since Lamar said you don't watch me, what I do is.
I don't watch me live. I
don't watch you live at all, but it's my evening show or early morning show.
Did you bring the gummy worm? Is the gummy worm with you?
You want me to bring it in
We
here?
really just booked you for the gummy worm. This is bizarre.
Do I really need to go get the gummy worm?
That was incredible.
Yeah, it's that thing is it'll be here a year or two.
That you could eat off that family of 4 for a year, I think.
Yeah, it has all the calorie required.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Actually, 4,000 calories is not that. It's only a couple of days worth of calories. So you could theoretically eat half and not die.
Wow, really? I guess it's just full of cellulose.
Yeah, it's actually low on calories considering.
I did that pledge where I said I would only eat any gummy worms that I killed myself, so I have to hunt them.
That's funny.
All right, Apple, with your stupid late earnings.
Oh, are they late? Because I was wondering if we're going to get them in the show in time.
Yeah, Roger's going to keep an eye out for them.
Cool.
And pop them in there.
We'll just keep delaying. So, how you doing?
But one more thing about All right. Give us another minute, and we'll start the show. Let's start the show. Do you ever watch Graham Norton?
I've watched a few YouTube videos of some of his interviews and things. Yeah,
he's so good.
He is. He had a one of my friends was on there. Really talented singer. Like she does impressions. Christina Bianco. I don't know if you've seen those videos. Yeah, where she sings like 12 different. She sings a song and it was like 12 different impressions or something like that.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, she got really popular on YouTube for that.
Nice.
So she made it to Graham Norton. I was like, yeah, he's good.
Well, and we used to watch him back in the day when he'd get a star, then often a British star, and then he would have a comedian that he knew, and then there would be very much a British star, like a British television star. And now he's just he's filling that couch up with A-level talent every episode. It's crazy. What did he have? He had David Attenborough, the nature documentarian who's 90, and then he had Ride Along, Kevin Hart, Ice Cube, Hugh Laurie.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he finds out if they're flying to the UK and say you're going to be on my show if you come here.
Yeah, pretty much. It's crazy.
Wow.
All right, let's get this rolling here.
All right.
Get out of my way, Mike. Why it's doing? What? It's moving on its own. Stop that. All right.
My fellow citizens of the internet, there is nothing to fear but fear itself. So go show fear you mean business. Go to dailytechnewsshow.com/support and show them you're not interested in fear. You're interested in the future.
This is the Daily Tech News for Tuesday, January 26th, 2016. That's the first time I almost said 2015 this year.
I saw that.
Lamar Wilson. He knows what year it is. I would have hated to have done that on your show, Lamar.
Oh, yeah, that would have been horrible. No, I know what year it is because I just got off the phone with my text guy, so I was crying about 2015 and what I'm gonna have to pay in a few months. So.
Yeah, it's emblazoned on your mind. No, I hear you. Seriously. But hey, man, it's good to have you back on the show. We haven't had you on all year long.
All year, yeah. It's great to be on. I'm taking the place of a very awesome person who's moving, right?
Yeah, Patrick Beja is packing up boxes, heading to Finland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another country.
So I was meant to ask you this before the show. Can you do a French accent or?
Oui, oui.
That's perfect. It's like Patrick's right here with us. It's amazing.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna try something that's sort of a new thing for DTNS today. Taking your reactions to our discussion yesterday, and then adding on a follow-up story that Lamar and I were interested in talking about regarding Twitter. So that's coming up. Let's start off with the headlines. TechCrunch reports Twitter's Periscope announced it's integrating with GoPro's Hero 4. When paired with an iPhone, the Hero 4 will give users the option to stream and record through the Periscope app. Users can toggle between the Hero 4 or the iPhone camera. Once it's going, you can go back and forth. Hero 4 can also record video separately to its SD card while it's broadcasting to Periscope. GoPro enabled pairing with Meerkat last year, so it's not even the first time GoPro has partnered up with a streaming app.
Yeah, I think this is fantastic. I was just I was rearranging my apps the other day, and I was looking at Periscope, and I was like, why don't I use this? This is actually a really good app for the phone. But I've been thinking about getting a GoPro, not putting those two together in my head. But when I saw this announcement, I was like, I can see that. I can see how this works with the live streaming. It's perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Like the things that you think of people doing with their GoPros, riding down a mountain, skiing, all of those outdoorsy things would be fun to watch on Periscope for sure. I mean, people were watching snowfall from Representative Paul Ryan's office too.
Yeah, that was exciting.
It's kind of pretty for a while, we'll be honest. Sony has merged all its PlayStation efforts into a new subsidiary company called Sony Interactive Entertainment, or SIE. S-I-E. This will replace Sony Computer Entertainment, or SKI, which will combine Sony Network Entertainment International, that's the one that runs the PlayStation Network, with Sony Computer Entertainment's hardware and software business. The CEO of SIE will be current SCE CEO Andrew House. He will be headquartered in San Mateo, California, and there will be arms in London and Tokyo. Not his arms, but arms of this new company. President of Sony Worldwide Studios, Shuhei Yoshida, said on Twitter that he will still remain president of Sony Worldwide Studios, but he will report to former Sony Computer Entertainment of America CEO Sean Layden, who will also be over Worldwide Studios and will report to CEO Andrew House.
Wow. I don't know what you just said here, but
a lot of people are reporting to a lot of places, but the nut of it is Sony taking Sony Computer Entertainment and the network, PlayStation Network, and combining them into one company now.
Yeah, I think that makes sense on a couple levels. The computer business is ramping down. You don't see as many Sony, computers. So I mean, the whole industry is kind of, I don't say downhill. That's so negative, but they're just not selling it.
Yeah. You're not. It's not a growth industry.
Right. And then interesting having the PlayStation here, because I know Xbox and Microsoft keeps their things here local. I wonder, was that deliberate just to try to keep from having to have the Nintendo problem? The Nintendo problem is Nintendo, as big as they are here in the U.S., they still have to get permission for everything in Japan, and it causes delays and things. I wonder if that was to eliminate that problem.
Yeah, a little bit of agility in what they do, and Electronic Arts is down here, Microsoft up in Seattle. There's this is the West Coast is kind of where most of the video game folks are, so that makes sense too.
It does.
And this next story actually ties right into it. Bloomberg reports Sony has agreed to buy Altair Semiconductor. Israel-based Altair makes chips for cellular modems that can be used to connect things like power meters, security systems, cars. So think Internet of Things type stuff. And again, this is what Lamar was just saying. Sony saying, we're not going to be a consumer electronics company anymore. We're going to be an image sensor company. Remember, they bought the image sensors recently from, I believe it was Toshiba. We're going to be a sensor company for the Internet of Things, and we're going to be a video game and entertainment company, because you also have Sony Pictures. And so that's kind of the new direction for Sony going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a big company, IBM did that. Hewlett Packard kind of backed out as well and went enterprise. And it's the inevitability, and I'm glad instead of just like dying, they're just they keep themselves revitalized. Sony's a good name, and it's important that they keep fresh.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were looking at things like Sony Xperia or Vio laptops and saying, ah, wow, this company's in trouble. And only those segments of the company were in trouble. And this now feels like a very strong company. Sony Pictures, Sony Video Games, Sony Sensors. And they still have the Sony Xperia phones that kind of tie into the Internet of Things. So I imagine that will either slowly fade away or will morph into being integrated into that sensor business somehow.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Google Inbox will start presenting information cards, not just a list of emails when you search for certain items. Examples include flight info, addresses, phone numbers, your membership number, events, bills, package tracking, etc. Feature goes live today with updates rolling out gradually after that. The membership number is the one that got me because I'm always going through my email like, oh, right, where's that email with my hotel membership number? And if a card just came up and said, here's your membership number for Marriott, let's say, and I don't have to like scroll through an email and try to dig it out, that kind of stuff's pretty interesting. I don't know if it's enough to make me switch back to trying Inbox, though, which I tried for a couple of days and then went back to the regular Gmail app.
Yeah, I gave up Gmail a while ago. I mean, I still keep Gmail, but yeah, I kind of consolidate everything into iCloud, and I like it that way.
Okay, yeah. Well, and that's kind of what they want you to do, right? Is pick one of us to manage your email, whether it's iCloud or Gmail or something else.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Microsoft announced it will launch the first technical preview of Azure Stack on Friday, January 29th. The preview will only support one machine, so it is definitely a restricted preview. Azure Stack is meant to let companies run Azure cloud computing services in their own data centers on more than one machine, one would presume. A full release is hoped to happen in the Q4 timeframe. This is mostly of interest to the enterprise folks in the audience who want to be able to use Microsoft Azure services for the cloud, but also have a lot of stuff that they have control over. This is Microsoft's attempt to say, don't use OpenStack, use Azure in your own data center, and then everything will talk with your Azure services really nicely because it's all from the same company.
Got it.
Waze announced a partnership today with ride-sharing services Lyft, Cabify, and 99 Taxis. Genesis Group, a UK emergency dispatch company, Just Park, a parking company, and delivery company Corner Shop. They will integrate the Waze Transport SDK into their own apps, so their apps will provide routes, real-time navigation, estimated time of arrival, but they'll also feed data back into the Waze database to improve that traffic database, which knows where the traffic jams are and can help you route around it. Uber recently announced that it, too, will collect data on driving from its drivers, but that's data like whether they're speeding or playing with their phone while they're driving, so for a purely different purpose.
Yeah, I laughed at the name 99 Taxis. It felt like one of those, you couldn't get the domain.
Taxis.com is taken. What about 9taxis.com? What about 99taxis.com? No, and you use Waze, right? You live in Los Angeles.
I have never used Waze, but my Uber drivers use it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, because you know why I didn't use it? Because once Google bought it, I thought it was going to die out, and so I never even paid attention to it. I didn't know it was still going on until I got into Uber, and most of them use Waze.
Yeah. So the other night I was up on Wilshire, and I thought, well, you know what I'm going to probably have to do to get over to Hollywood and Vine is cut through Sunset Boulevard to Santa Monica. But I used Waze, and I thought it was crazy. But it said you should take the 405 north to the 101 and then get off at Vine. And I was like, I'm an episode of the Californians.
That's actually a good route.
It was a great route.
Yeah, it works.
That's why I use Waze, because it knows that real-time traffic information. It could say, oh no, the route you think is horrible is actually okay right now. You should definitely take it. And this is going to make their data improve because they're going to have all of these delivery people and taxi drivers contributing more data about where the traffic is. Cool. Microsoft is beta testing a one-handed keyboard for your phone featuring the iOS version of its WordFlow keyboard. Paul Thurrott got a look at images of the layout from an insider showing a fan-style arc in one corner of the screen, allowing your one thumb to be able to type, or maybe another finger. Microsoft plans to release WordFlow for iOS in the coming months, and an Android version is in the works as well.
Yeah, so I read the article on this, and of course the subsequent comments, and boy, those fans are mad. You know, they felt like it was a middle finger to them that you know that they're getting a feature taken away that's special and given to the Apple people once again. I don't know what to feel about that. I think Microsoft does what it has to do to get their apps used.
Well, there was a fury over Joe Belfiore, who's the head of Windows Phone. I don't think he was Snapchat, but he put a picture out where he was obviously using an iPhone, and so people are like, oh, even Joe Belfiore doesn't even use a Windows phone. It's like, no, what Joe Belfiore does is very responsibly use lots of different phones so that he knows how lots of different phones work. But, yeah, I mean, it does feel like Microsoft may be not emphasizing Windows Phone as much as maybe folks hoped they would. But it's still, as they were mentioning on What the Tech this week, it's still got double-digit figures in a lot of places around the world. So I doubt Microsoft's just going to abandon it.
Yeah, and they make a bunch of money on Android still. So
yeah.
Actually, they make more on Android than they do on
and
Android.
they want to make money on Apple too. So which is why they're providing these sorts of features to the iPhone users, because they want to draw them into the Microsoft universe. It's very smart.
Yeah.
What is very sad is the world lost a genius, as mathematician and computer scientist Marvin Minsky has died of a cerebral hemorrhage at age 88. Minsky pioneered the ideas behind artificial intelligence. He co-founded the MIT Artificial Intelligence Lab with John McCarthy back in the 50s, and he wrote Society of the Mind, the Society of the Mind in 1985. Thanks to PhilipShane for posting this on the subreddit. Really, that is just the barest tip of the iceberg of what Marvin Minsky is responsible for from 1959 beyond. He was a genius.
Yeah, I didn't hear about this today, so that's definitely sad.
Hugo Barra tweeted that Xiaomi will announce the Mi 5 on February 24th. The only confirmed spec is that it'll use a Snapdragon 820 processor, but everybody's been wondering when we're going to get the next flagship phone from Xiaomi. So there's your answer, February 24th, right near the end of Mobile World Congress.
Here we go.
French taxi drivers burned tires on the ring road around Paris today, blocking traffic in protest against ride-sharing services like Chauffeur Privé and Uber, another French company. 22 drivers were arrested as part of the protest. Prime Minister Manuel Valls met with the union representatives and agreed to work on new laws. Again, last time there was a big protest, they put in place some new rules. Looks like they're trying to mollify them again. Taxi drivers currently have to purchase a license for around 180,000 euros if they want to drive a taxi, whereas ride-sharing drivers must take 250 hours of training and pass a test. Thanks to Kevin Kipper for posting this on the subreddit.
So the issue, because we hear about these taxi, drivers who are upset that Uber or Lyft exists, but it seems like this is not that they exist; is that they have to spend so much money, and Uber. And the Uber people don't. Is that the?
I mean, it's part. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is they don't like the competition. And then there are some valid. There are some more valid complaints, like you're saying, where like, hey man, to get my medallion, I had to pay 180,000 euros, and this guy can just take a test. And before the latest rules, they didn't even have to take a test. Like here in the United States, you just jump in and pass a background check, I think, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a valid point with the money. With the money, I definitely agree with that. But the one about competition is like, sorry.
Yeah, and that's some of the drivers today were saying the other services should just be banned, and I think that's probably going too far. Quick note that Firefox 44 is out with push notifications for websites, H.264 support, and the ability to choose a home page in the Android version. So that the website thing is actually pretty cool. I love the idea that you can have a web app that will provide you notifications, same as any other app. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I haven't used Firefox in years. I didn't even 44. Wow, it's still going strong.
The Apple earnings are just coming out right now. Thank you, Roger Chang, for popping those in the doc. Net revenue of $18.36 billion, earnings per share of $3.28, revenue of $75.9 billion. It is in the low end of what Apple guidance had predicted for last quarter, but still an increase over last year. It is less than $76.54 billion that analysts had expected. So that's a miss, according to Reuters. iPhone sold 74.8 million units, only up 0.4%. iPad sales were 16.1 million, down from 21 million last year. Macs 5.31 million, which is less than a year ago. Apple Watch sold 4.35 million, so it went up from 2.7 million last year. Overall, Apple sales grew 1.7% year over year, with iPhone units up 0.4% and iPad units down 24.7%. Apple sells fewer phones than expected. Apple iPhone grows 0% yearly with 75 million units. Apple beats earnings expectations but misses out on iPhone sales. Those are your early headline hot takes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I look at this. I'm not an analyst. I'm not going to pretend I am one. But just on the surface, some of these things make sense to me as a real world person. I see iPads down or Macs down. Well, if it's a company that is priding themselves in making quality and not crap, then it's reasonable that people are going to keep them around. I'm still rocking the iPad Air 2. I mean, that's over a year old, and it works just as fine as it did on day one. And who wants to buy a Mac every year?
Yeah, and I think smartphones are starting to last a little longer.
I'm not defending one. Yeah, I'm just saying that I think things are slowing down. The phones are good. People don't really want to have to spend $800 out of their pocket a year to buy a phone, whether they're on Android or Apple. And I think it's slowing down for everybody.
Yeah, and you're not. I mean, the Apple Watch is the one new product, and it is the one that is rising. But its sales units are in the Mac neighborhood, not in the iPhone neighborhood. So Apple doesn't have a new hit to kind of take over as what normally happens. Product cycles start to flatten out as they mature, and I think what is most telling here is Apple's guidance is usually low. It usually smashes its guidance, and the fact that it was near its own guidance, in the lower end of its own guidance, is very telling to me.
Yeah, I think for the watch, the problem is that they didn't tell the story well enough of why you need this, why you should have it. I think they used to be excellent storytellers, and I think they just didn't convince enough people is why you need this. And I think if they can tell that story better, same thing with Google or Samsung, if they can tell the story why you need this extra device, they'll sell like hotcakes.
And the argument could be either they're not telling the story well, or there's not a good enough story to tell.
And there you go. That's
with a wearable. And as we mentioned yesterday, Twitter was expected to hire a new CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, and they have. Leslie Berland will leave her role as Executive Vice President of Global Advertising, Marketing, and Digital Partnerships at American Express, where one of her digital partnerships was with Twitter, and now she'll become the Twitter Chief Marketing Officer. Twitter CFO Anthony Noto can stop filling in as CMO now, which he has been doing since last May.
Oh, Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. We got things to say about Twitter. But for this story, let's just say congratulations, Leslie Berland, on your new gig. That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll leave the headlines on a positive note. Thanks to everybody who submits stories in our subreddit. Get in there, folks, and vote. dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. That is a look at the headlines. All right, so yesterday on the show we talked about Twitter and whether they were good for anything and would survive, and you guys wrote in and gave us your responses. David from It's Warmed Up Enough to Snow Again St. Paul wrote, the reason I don't like and don't use Twitter all that often is that I can't sort through all the posts, the @replies, the retweets, etc., to make anything coherent out of Twitter, and I can't have a discussion with people, whereas in Facebook I can follow a thread and have a discussion and even have sub-discussions. Tyler said Twitter clearly has uses, one of which being that I constantly hear NPR and other news outlets reporting the Minister of Defense of Indonesia announced the decision on his Twitter feed. But this may not lend itself to exponential growth. So without redoing our conversation from yesterday, though, Lamar and I wanted to talk about the news today that Twitter has stopped showing ads to VIPs. Recode's Peter Kafka has some sources saying they've reduced or eliminated ads based on a user's volume and reach. So it's not just total number of followers, but whether this person actually is seen in an effort to keep people around. Twitter's only comment on it to Recode, Twitter rep Will Stickney, said, we're constantly looking constraints and adjustments to optimize which ads are shown and how often. What did you think of this, Lamar?
You know, it hit me when I read this, and the reason it hit me is because I realized I haven't seen an ad in months.
Aha.
I'm one of these people
You have
because I use
high volume and good reach, I assume.
I get, and I'm not verified at all. But I remember when the ads were rolling out, I would see one every every so often, and just kind of got used to them. But I haven't seen one in quite a while. So I guess I'm special. Are you special as well, Mr. Mr. Merritt?
I use TweetDeck, so I don't know what that does to the conversation. But I have to say, the times that I'm using the app on my phone or my tablet, I can't say that I remember seeing an ad recently. So yeah, maybe I am exempted from that. And you may say, well, that's a bad thing, Twitter cutting into its revenue, but their ad revenue has actually been quite healthy. So apparently it's not hurting anything for them to do that. I think Peter,
for a small group,
which is like, if this is something you want to do, just make it so that, if you contribute enough to the conversation as an encouragement, you'll reduce the ads, or you can pay to get rid of them.
Yeah, I think it's good because you get your stars or your celebs, whatever. If they're irritated with the service, then they're not going to post enough, and then the people who love them, who want to see what they have to say, it causes a domino reaction. They won't stay around on Twitter. So it makes sense to make the top people happy and make the lower people pay. That's terrible.
It sounds horrible terrible when you put it that way. Now I'm against it. I just made up the idea. Well, but you're right. I see it both ways. One is like, hey, you don't want ads? Here's a way to pay to get rid of them. Hulu just did that, right? And it's fantastic. I love it. I also think that telling someone, look, we value your contributions to our platform. In fact, as we mentioned yesterday, it's kind of a broadcast platform. So we're going to not make you watch ads because we're recognizing the value you're contributing to the platform is kind of cool as well.
It is really cool.
Yeah. And maybe that's points towards the future for lots of different social networks of, charging you to view the platform versus giving you credit for participation. Although, honestly, if Twitter started charging people to view Twitter, no one would look at Twitter anymore. So
no one would look at Twitter. Yeah. I think something like this would be really cool on YouTube. I mean, I am a paying person of the YouTube Red just because I want to try it out. But, the top people who get the most views, or we don't watch as many videos as the audience does as a whole. So it'd be kind of cool if we was like, hey, you all get complimentary YouTube Red, or you don't have to deal with ads, and it'll be nice if they looked into that. At least pushed it.
My wife works at YouTube and she doesn't even get complimentary YouTube Red. So
yeah.
They don't. That would be an interesting thing to say. Hey, if you contribute to the platform at this level and you're making money for us, we will give you a little bit of this back. I mean, YouTube has lots of problems. Top thing on our subreddit today was a guy who's saying he got a community strike, and he's frustrated about his conversation with them. Now, the reason I'm not covering that is I don't know the whole story. We can't see the video he's talking about, but he's not alone in these people who feel like YouTube doesn't talk to them and that it's really hard to get an answer out of people. And so those kinds of gestures go a long way to making people feel like, oh, they actually do care. And YouTube has a bad rap among creators right now, and for good or ill.
Yeah, they do. I remember when the Nexus 1 came out. I mean, I was not one of the top people at that time, but it was 2009 or 8, and they gave them out to several top. I thought that was brilliant. The top creators. The TV, the Google TV they gave out, and then they just stopped. And it's like, hey, if you give us the latest Androids, or give us these latest features for free, we're gonna tell our audience about it naturally. Yeah. And that's sales right there. I don't know why they don't see that, but.
Well, I think a lot of these social networks platforms are sometimes lost in their own priorities for whatever the platform is, and I think that's a key that Facebook learned by getting slapped in the face a lot every time they made a change. Remember, that used to be the thing. Facebook made a change and everyone got outraged. They learned how to soft pedal things and really bring in the audience, whereas Twitter and YouTube, I think, have been able to just kind of go full speed ahead. Maybe they haven't changed as many things, or in YouTube's case, they change things, they get slapped in the face, and they just ignore it. They can take a punch.
Right.
I guess.
You take a lot of punches.
Yeah. Let's get to our pick of the day. Pat from Pittsburgh. It's a Pat from Pittsburgh pick. It's a third-party add-on for Gmail. I shouldn't have picked this because you don't use Gmail. Called Active Inbox. It turns Gmail into what Pat thinks is a powerful task manager. He says, I've been using this for almost a year now. It's actually got me to inbox 0, has helped keep me there. It's hard to explain all the things it can do in this email, so check out their overview video on the website. For the parts I don't like, it is a subscription service. You have to pay almost $4 a month. But they'll give you a free 2-week trial to try it out. And I went into that trial not expecting to pay for it at the end, but I found enough value in it to sign up for a year, and I'll probably end up renewing it when the time comes. The other thing that it's currently lacking is a good mobile app. They have a beta iOS app that sometimes works, but it's slow, and they do say developing a mobile app is a top priority. So if and when that happens, I think it'll be valuable to a number of people. But you can check it out, activeinboxhq.com. Lifehacker gave it a good review as well, said it's very good for the folks in the getting things done world, and it's a way to get to inbox 0 and a way to manage your tasks right from Gmail.
I used to be one of those GTD people. Then I broke free. I was saved.
You got away from the cult.
Yes.
I read Getting Things Done and I loved it. I think there's some great stuff in it, and I pulled certain aspects out of it, and left certain aspects behind, and said, well, that's not really for me. And I think that's the best way to approach any of these sort of things: is take what works for you and implement it. So if Active Inbox HQ works for you, you might want to check it out. Thank you, Pat.
Right.
Send your picks to us, folks. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find more picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Got some messages of the day. Kevin Bowman in cold and snow-covered Manchester, Kentucky says, I wanted to send you all this story. I didn't submit it to the subreddit because I thought it needed some context. It's not a flashy story. I live in a rural eastern Kentucky where competition goes to die. I currently have a 3 megabit per second DSL connection, while the other side of my county enjoys faster speeds because there's competition with the telco and cable provider. I was recently told by my telephone company I wouldn't see faster speeds until my cable provider decided to offer internet in the area, and they aren't. My neighboring counties, which are seen as more remote and closed off to the rest of the world, have done something pretty awesome. They're developing fiber to all their customers despite how remote the areas are that they live in. It's also really cool that they're using mules to help roll out the fiber. He sent a note to a link to the Lane report if you want to hear about it. But I believe this is in neighboring counties, possibly in West Virginia. And I want to say before I get this thing loaded, but it's Silicon Holler, they're calling it. Gigabit service in Jackson and Owsley counties in Kentucky. No, it's not. There's also something going on in West Virginia that's similar to this, but this is pretty great.
Yeah, they just decided to take it upon themselves. They're not going to get helped. They're gonna do it. Yeah, I think that's great. The mules thing is weird. Maybe I don't understand. I guess they're the ones pulling the cable across the county.
They used a mule named Old Bub to help with the last mile installations of fiber optic based gigabit internet connectivity because of the terrain, just like hauling the stuff up. The mule doesn't actually pull the internet bits; it just helps lay the cable.
I thought it was mule powered. My fault.
Yeah, the last mile is mule powered, so your speeds may degrade. No, it's just to help them get into places to lay the fiber, which is also, I mean, they have a picture of the mule on this Lane Report story.
Yeah, this is great because remote areas always get the worst of any kind of technology growth. So I'm really happy I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, so these two Kentucky counties have fiber internet, while most of Los Angeles does not.
Yes.
There you go.
Except you.
Well, we're lucky over here.
You are.
David, previously from Boiling Hot Lagos, said, you're probably going to get emails about this from every single Nigerian who listens to DTNS. And David, you may be the only one, so I may have, because you're the only one who emailed. But Lagos is pronounced Lagos, not Lagos. In other words, Patrick was right with his first guess before you and Veronica corrected him. And eRoco, not iRoco, eRoco is interesting. This is the Nollywood service we were talking about yesterday. He said the reason Nollywood grew since it began in 1992 to such a huge industry is that it was decidedly low tech. Back then, while Hollywood movies in Nigeria were moving to formats like Laserdisc and Bollywood movies were stuck mostly in empty cinemas, VCR tapes of Nollywood movies were sold in barbershops. It's no exaggeration that you'd even have tomato sellers offering you the latest movie alongside your tomatoes. We'd buy them, watch them, throw them away, and then buy more. When eRoco came on the scene in 2011, I had my doubts that it would work because of this history, and it has been amazingly successful so far. It'll be fun to see how far it goes.
So if the movie's bad, you just take the tomatoes and then throw it at the movie?
Yeah, you throw it at the videotape itself.
It's very efficient.
Pre-bought tomatoes. That's brilliant. You know, and the thing about Nollywood back then is they didn't make money on the movies; they made it on the tomatoes. It's like the popcorn. No, seriously, that is really interesting. Thank you, David from Lagos. I will remember that now, and I will give Patrick credit for guessing right. Lagos, Nigeria. Sam in Oregon said, I am a pilot and been following the discussion with interest, drawing parallels between flying and autonomous driving. There are two systems in this country for flying, IFR and VFR. IFR stands for Instrument Flight Rules. VFR stands for Visual Flight Rules. Airlines generally operate at high altitudes on IFR flight with following very specific flight plans and being monitored closely by air traffic control. That's instrument flight. Small planes, like I fly, recreationally usually fly at much lower altitudes and follow VFR rules, visual flight. We're responsible for looking out for each other, but have much more freedom in where we can fly without being under air traffic control. I see freeway travel like IFR, where automation could be implemented quite easily, but also where travel is already quite safe due to oncoming traffic being separated. So yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it. VFR is driving around on the streets in the downtown where you can just kind of look out for each other, and freeway traffic is fairly automatable. We got a lot of people writing in saying, I think the problem will be on city streets, not on freeways. Google already drives their autonomous cars on city streets with pedestrians and bicycles. Go! If you haven't gone and looked at this, go look at it. You say that's the hard problem that they'll have to crack. They've done it. The problem now is getting the reliability and the policy in place, but the cars can do it.
And I want one.
And you want to use one?
Yeah, I want.
How good the parking will be?
Yeah, completely efficient. Yeah, I just think if everybody even had one of these cars, just driving in general, just like when it's no one sitting at the light looking at their phone when it's time to go. In car, just everything moves. You're not holding up everybody because you know, we're in LA. You know how people are just do not have any concept of looking at the road while they're driving.
Well, especially on the streets. You know, all this IFR, VFR stuff is great because the VFR driving here, where you're supposed to just be driving around looking at each other, is when people look the least. I feel like on the highway, everybody actually behaves fairly reasonably most of the time. There are definitely huge exceptions. But it's once you get down on the city streets that people are like, they go without looking, they don't watch out for pedestrians, so I don't know. But yeah, I still think just acceptance and policy-wise, we're still years away.
Yeah, I welcome our automated overlords, though.
As you should. Well, thank you, Lamar Wilson, for welcoming the overlords and being with us today. YouTube.com/Lamar Wilson, folks. It's 2 R's in Lamar. Go, watch, subscribe. What else you got going on, man?
Well, I just unboxed the world's largest gummy worm.
So good.
Yeah, you have to check that out. It's probably the best video I've made in a while. And it's 3 pounds of pure deliciousness. And so check that out. And if you're into Amiibo or Toys to Life, Disney Infinity, check out today and tomorrow. I'm going to be posting a walkthrough of all of my Amiibo and Disney Infinity characters. So you get to see my collection that's back here.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I saw you did some product hauls recently, and good stuff going on over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's becoming much more fun. Yeah, I unboxed a bed recently. That was really fun.
That's amazing. Go check it out, folks. Again, youtube.com/Lamar Wilson. Thanks to everybody who supports this show. dailytechnewsshow.com/support is the place to go to find our Patreon, where you can get special perks for backing us on a regular basis. That is our operating budget, the people on Patreon. If you're not comfortable with Patreon, totally fine. We have PayPal as well. That's our capital expenses budget. And also our store, where we sell mugs and T-shirts and stickers. You just want a sticker? It says DTNS on it? Go get it at dailytechnewsshow.com/store. If you are a Patreon supporter at the $5 a month level or more, you get bonuses like the Treasure Chest, which includes full pre- and post-show audio of this episode and every episode, as well as cut downs of the best of those pre- and post shows made by Rich from lovely Cleveland. Thank you, Rich. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can give us a call, 512-59-DAILY. It's 512-593-2459. Catch the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, alphageekradio.com, and visit our website, as well as diamondclub.tv.com. Diamondclub.tv. Our website's dailytechnewsshow.com. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll try this again with Scott Johnson and Brecky Thomason. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I almost started laughing again. Zoe Brings Bacon in the chat room says, Lamar's gummy worm for president.
Oh, that gummy worm is, yeah. It will. I still haven't even cut it up yet, cause it will take months.
Yeah.
I may just like divvy up and okay, that would be weird. I almost said it. I was going to divvy it up and put it in bags and take it to the local school when the kids. Hey kids, that's probably not a good idea. I mean, see, me being a former teacher, I'm thinking, okay, that's
right. No, of course.
But
like if you were a teacher, you would bring it into the class and they'd love it. Of course.
Absolutely. But I just processed how awful that would be, and
you're like, wait,
how quickly I'll probably be in jail.
That would be amazing, though. If you
I can't just walk up.
In an office situation, if you like, we had a little gummy worm left over.
Go eat, and people love gummy worms. Oh yeah, they'll go crazy on that.
That's amazing. All right, what should we call this show? We got Twitter down economics. Oh, sigh. S-I-E.
Apple fails.
What's that?
Apple fails.
Oh man, Apple is doomed is on here too.
Of course.
I like Mule fiber actually.
Why? The Mule.
I love the name. You don't like Mule fiber, Roger?
Mule fiber.
Were you listening to our discussion of what that means? Or did Ellie distract you with her rhetoric?
Oh no, I was just curious. I don't know. For some reason, Twitter down economics has a very Reagan-esque feel to it.
Yes, it does. Well, very much so.
But you have a young audience. They don't even know who Reagan is, do they?
Yeah. They think that's the first name of their friend from 4th grade. Oh, I remember her.
I mean, I'm sure more people know him as president than as actor.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I did not know him as an actor
growing up until he ran for president.
I was 3 years old when he became president.
I was 10.
Yeah, let's not mention ages.
That's why I did it. I knew.
Hi, Lamar.
Hi, Jenny.
Roger, you're not older than me, so you know.
I'm a lot older. If you were only 3 when he was president.
Are
You're a
serious?
young man, Lamar Wilson.
I have a hard time. Okay,
it's a young man's game.
Don't ever try to judge an Asian's age and tell them over 50.
Yeah, okay. I have heard that before, actually. That's hilarious.
So, new rule.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always make sure your wireless keyboard is not dying before you race in at the last second, because then you can't enter your password and things.
Oh. Yeah, that's what wireless mice too. It's always an issue.
Yeah.
Hey, this was my first time trying wireless headphones, and they worked. They held up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love the ones I use when I run, but I don't use them. I do use them while I cook too, actually. and vacuum. No, I can't use them while I vacuum. I take that back. They're not loud enough.
Did you all have a nice show?
We did. I think. Well, I did. I shouldn't speak for anyone else.
I mean, I've had better in other networks. I mean, you know.
Fair. Fair.
Of course, this is the only network I do shows on.
Is it really?
Until CNN calls me and say, "Hey, can you tell us about the gummy worm?"
We saw you on Daily Tech News Show. We'd like to interview you about your gummy worm.
What's funny is they actually featured me on their website for the cinnamon bun Oreo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I did an unboxing of those last week. So I don't know. I don't think it ever hit TV, but I am on their site. So I'm getting up there, man. I mean, I know you all in about 6 months. I'm like, DTNS who?
Yeah,
you could talk. You could talk to my manager. See
we'll get an email back from Mr. Wilson's assistant.
Exactly.
Thank you for your interest.
I actually do have a manager now, so.
Yeah, that's good. No,
yeah, I mean, but not for just like brand stuff.
I'm glad you still answer.
I don't need a day-to-day manager.
I'm flattered that you still answer your emails personally.
Hey guys, do you think it's weird that every time I try to delete my password from the login for Apple, it puts more characters in?
Yes, that is weird.
That's not good, right?
Something else is smashed down.
Something is touching something, but I don't know what.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had that happen before.
I bet I know what it is. I bet it's my almost dead but not dead trackpad.
Ah.
Did you unplug it?
Back in my day, we had cords.
We killed all those now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I got that.
Uh-huh.
What happens if your trackpad is missing but still active?
I usually watch it the same day,
Turn
but
off Bluetooth.
I forgot you all did it, so I'm gonna watch it today.
Oh yeah, it was good. We had Justin Robert Young on.
Very cool. Oh, then this is a good show then.
Yeah, finally. That'd be a good episode.
That is not what I mean.
That's what I meant. Actually, Brian and I have really hit a good rhythm now. Where I feel good about stuff. Not that I felt bad before, but I feel like wow, we're just like really like knocking it out. This is great.
Yeah, because even when you don't have guests, like last week you didn't have a guest, it was like you still flow really well.
Yeah, we still roll, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackie Hearn does a kick-ass job booking. We just let her do it. So like, you know, when you're like, hey, can I be on Cord Killers? I'm always like, Jackie? Because she knocks it out of the park too. Just really good.
You have like the best support system, I tell you.
Oh,
like
thanks,
it's very
man.
rare. You have so many other people who are struggling with, who seem like they should be doing well. I'm not gonna name your names, but they seem like they should be doing well. They don't have a support system. They don't have, you know, they have all these cynics in their audience and just nasty people. But you have. I don't think anybody's ever said anything bad about you. You just.
Oh yeah.
You have a good. But I'm gonna say by and large, you have a good audience. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. No, you're absolutely right. 100%.
That's the best audience in the world.
Yay! Mm-hmm. Oh, right, and we had Romney Malco on Spoiler in Time yesterday to talk about Mad Dogs from Amazon.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
What? How did that happen?
Because he and Brian know each other. And I don't know how they got to know each other, but Brian started having him on NSFW show back in the day. So once Romney got the job on Mad Dogs, Brian was like, you got to come on and talk about it. So, yeah.
Wait. I got excited with the wrong person. Wait,
no.
Who is this now?
Romney Malco. Look him up.
Oh, I thought it was the dude from that USA show. Wait, what's his name?
Psych, the guy from Psych?
Rami Malek or something like that.
Romney Malco.
Mr. Robot, Rami Malek.
Robot. I thought it was the iRobot.
Oh, yeah. No, different guy.
Oh, okay. So, okay, I got excited.
Still a cool guy.
I don't know that guy, but I'm sure he's cool.
Yeah, he's mostly does comedies, but this is like dramatic comedy, crime comedy.
Got it.
Houston, we have a problem.
I said iRobot. It's Mr. Robot.
Oh,
that's what Jenny. You said. Jenny said iRobot.
I said iRobot because I'm doing multiple things.
Did you turn off your Bluetooth?
Yeah, so what happened is every time I put the new batteries in this keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
it like flips out, the caps lock is permanently on, like something happened to
Did you clean it with anything? Like a
Not lately.
But
Maybe
is that your only keyboard?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it's too bad you don't have one of the newer ones that have the battery built in and the lightning. Oh no.
Well, I might have one in about 15 minutes because I'm down at
Right.
the Apple Store.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It is going to throw off our timeline. So maybe, Tom, I'll just do the show from this laptop instead of the full kitty.
Can you plug in your mic to that laptop? I'm just asking.
No, I'm saying I don't have a I don't have a Blue Icicle on me.
What show are you all about to do?
Let's talk about Star Wars.
I don't really want to talk about it, but what show are you about to do?
That's third basics. I'm really glad you went there. By the way, that made me smile.
That's the kind of intelligence and humor we need on our program.
That's right. Yeah, it's me, Jenny, and Garrett Weinzierl.
Sorry.
Cool.
I cursed.
Are you still doing the YouTube? I don't know about Star Wars thing, or is that over?
Star Wars. Well, no, I ran out of Star Wars.
Okay.
So the next episode of that will come out in December when Rogue Squadron comes out.
You know, we listened to your episode 3, Piz Dog, just last night. Matt was like, I want to listen to Tom's show. That's great. Let's do it. He laughs so hard at that stuff. Because
really? That's flattering because he knows from comedy.
Well, he knows exactly how hard it is to get into the mindset of like the triple mindset of what you're doing. And so he's very, very appreciative of that, and like we're gonna listen to one of the rest of them every night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you have see now it types 3 characters, and the caps lock is on. This thing is plucked.
Oh, that sounds like those batteries.
I had one go bad, but that does sound like. I mean, I've had one of those keyboards go bad on me, but not that problem.
I can't believe this was happening.
All those keyboards go bad.
Something about the batteries, Tom?
Yeah.
Like maybe the batteries are bad?
FileCal says maybe just restart.
It might. It might be the batteries.
It might be the batteries are weak. The new batteries. You might just need to restart and have it reconnect. Maybe it's just got a bad connection.
I mean, there's no big deal. I can do PizDot on here, and I can.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Doable, but it's not ideal.
Yeah, there might be a battery thing.
If these batteries that I just spent 10 minutes in line behind people buying multiple lottery tickets and carefully considering which scratch-off they were going to get, are they good?
That sounds awesome.
I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset in the calmest possible. All right, I'll restart this.
Your office isn't like I couldn't work with you because I'm already big. I'm already too big, and I would just be double the size of all that good food there. I just would. It's just it's. I was just there recently, and matter of fact, you know what, Jenny? Last time I was there, I texted you, and I must still have. I still must be going to your other number. Because I was like, hey, I was there for like 2 hours. And I knew you were there because the show was just ending.
Yeah.
But I don't know where your office is, so I didn't.
Yeah, we didn't go see my office. That's silly.
No, you just came out and we ate Cajun.
What you do? Okay, what you do is you go to where the donut store is, and you go behind where the donut store is, and then you go up, sort of like where the big garbage cans are, and you could just yell, "Hey, Jenny!" and I would probably hear you.
I mean, that is dangerous working right next to a donut store.
Oh my God!
Right next to a donut store.
That can't be good.
You know, I got over it really quick because I remembered very quickly that donuts don't make you feel so good. They really don't. They look
great on the
eye. Don't. But they don't.
And then it's just if you ate out maybe you eat over there every day, but that adds up definitely.
Yeah, I went to that old diner that's over in the corner. It's been there since the 30s.
I saw it on your Snapchat, Dupar's.
So good.
Saw it.
Wait, you old people are using Snapchat? What's going on?
Oh yeah. It's over. Snapchat is over. The old people showed up.
That's right.
I did a Snapchat Sunday where I spent all Sunday with Snapchat, and we had a lot of fun.
That's cool. I didn't know they had a diner over there. I love diners.
Dupars.
I'm actually like a big fan of like old diners.
Have you not had the pancakes of Dupars? They're amazing.
I had the meatloaf, and it was great diner meatloaf. I really enjoyed it, but I also had some of Eileen's pancakes, and man, there was no reason to ever get anything but the pancakes. Like, they're amazing.
Okay, this is dead.
Okay.
This is officially dead.
Yeah, maybe it's just the keyboard.
Oh.
But it was just fine.
It was just, it's maybe your keyboard is somehow tied to Abe Vigoda's soul.
Maybe.
Oh.
All right, Tom Merritt, this is your call. If I run down to the Apple Store, it's going to take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just don't do that, and do it this way. But
and plus, it's going to stress you out. Just do it this way, and then go fix your keyboard afterwards when you can relax.
Yeah. I wish there was a way. Don't have a blue icicle on me.
But how is your mic plugged into the other machine?
Oh, I'm a moron.
It's a USB box, right?
Hold on, sorry.
It's USB, isn't it? That's the one I gave you, right?
Yeah,
it's USB.
it's the one you gave me, Lamar.
Yeah.
I get it, but you're distracted by the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Scarlet right here. Thank you, Tom. You're very kind.
No
very
problem.
kind to this poor sad girl.
I thought you were gonna be like IEEE 1394.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe she has a different connection now.
Kind of stupid. All right, hold on.
Oh god.
It's not going to do much for video, but we're audio only, right? On the other one?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey!
See? Less stress.
Let's talk about Star Wars.
Let's talk about Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
All right, okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry, Lou. I'm sorry.
Wow. No, you just, again, that's from our generation.
I know.
All these are like, what are these old songs? I keep making it seem like kids watch DTNS. I'm sure it's a lot of people our age.
I feel comfortable in that we're in the demographic middle of our audience.
Yeah. I'm actually glad my YouTube now has gotten up to 26 to 45 now versus the kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the majority is adults who have money, which is better for for what I do.
Hell yeah.
Versus a bunch of kids.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, well, we are out of here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Go check out Let's Talk About Star Wars.com. And go subscribe to youtube.com/Lamar Wilson.